Alright guys, it's the end of the month again, which means it's time for the next part of my top 100 favorite movies list. And I've worn the Captain America shirt for the last two parts. I think I'm just going to wear it throughout the rest of the series. So you're just going to be stuck with me wearing this shirt. Without further ado, let's get into part 3. Number 80. Inside Out. After 4 years of Pixar losing their touch, one of them, they didn't even release a movie, they come back to form with one of their best movies, Inside Out. What I really love about this movie is what really defines Pixar, that they are creative with something that's kind of already been done before. In this case, they make a movie about what goes on inside your mind, how the emotions work, and they build it in a way to where, yeah, you can kind of believe that in a way. Similar to how when you were a kid, Toy Story made you believe that when you actually left, all of your toys came to life. Inside Out, even if you're an adult like me, might actually make you go, does the inside of my brain actually look like that? Are there 5 emotions at a control desk just basically taking control over my body and what I do? But other than that, it's a very clever script. It's really funny. The characters are great. Michael Giacchino's score is fantastic. It is another Pixar classic. Number 79. Up. Sticking into the realm of Pixar, this is another masterpiece of theirs. A lot of people usually give the first 10 minutes of the movie the highest praise anyone could give because it's done with no dialogue, it pretty much works out like a short film, and it makes everyone, no matter who you are, cry uncontrollably because it's so tragic. But with the rest of the movie, from there on out, it's still just as good. Sure, you have some goofy things like an old man tying balloons to his house as it flies away, dogs talking with collars, this giant dodo bird. It has all of this crazy, insane stuff that doesn't even look like it belongs with the first 10 minutes, and yet it manages to still be imaginative, clever, funny, deliver great characters, and give us the same emotional beats that you get with any other Pixar classic. This is a movie that I unfortunately don't own on Blu-ray, but as time goes on, it just gets better and better. Number 78. Memento. I was actually kind of late on watching this movie in terms of Christopher Nolan's filmography because I saw this long after Inception and The Dark Knight came out, and the first time I saw this, I was actually surprised that I could follow it in a way. There were a few points that left me confused because of the very unique way Nolan chooses to tell the story, but it's very well done, it's very smart, it's very thrilling. It has great performances from Guy Pearce, Carrie-Anne Moss, and it's a movie that just really sucks you in with how unique it is, because the movie starts out with how a movie like this would end if it was a very simple beginning to end story structure, but Christopher Nolan manages to tell it in a very unique way that really, I think, defined him as more of the thinking man's director. And I feel like more than the Dark Knight trilogy, this cemented him as one of the great filmmakers of our generation. Number 77. Night of the Living Dead. I reviewed this movie and I talked about it briefly on my Criterion Blu-ray pickup. This is a masterpiece in every way. I've said a couple times beforehand that thanks to Shaun of the Dead, I've never been able to take zombies very seriously. So going into Night of the Living Dead, I was wondering, okay, what could this do? And I was so surprised at how dark, gruesome, and terrifying this movie ended up being. And it actually didn't have much to do with the zombies. It had to do with the fact that the main characters are boarded up in this house and just don't get along with each other. A lot of the fear of this movie comes from more the characters just not getting along, so you know they're not going to work well together, and they're not going to do jack shit when the zombies start breaking in and eating everyone. And the scene with the little girl, that horrifies me. It is frightening, and then the ending is just very much one of those things where you watch it, even if it's a very, very old movie that you've heard a lot about, you'll watch the ending and go, whoa, I did not see that coming at all, and it actually fits in a very appropriate way considering when this movie came out and what was going on at the time. So I don't know what else to say about Night of the Living Dead. It is truly a zombie masterpiece, and the one exception to where zombies terrify me. Number 76. Saving Private Ryan. The first time I ever saw this movie was actually part of an English class. I had to watch basically the last act of the movie, the big final battle. And the one moment that really struck to me was when you had one of the soldiers trying to go up to the tank, set a bomb, but he just blows up, and you see him just burst into flesh and pieces all over the place. I was just watching that going, shit! So at that point I was like, okay, no, I'm not watching this scene by itself. I am starting from the beginning, and it is truly an impactful film. Spielberg directs it wonderfully. It has one of the best opening sequences to any movie ever with the Omaha Beach raid. Tom Hanks gives an incredible performance. It's very dark, it's gritty, and yeah, some people have a problem with the ending, but I think most of the movie before the ending is just so well done and so good that it's hard to overlook at. And this is one of the most influential war movies out there. This pretty much changed the way how war movies are presented, and yeah, Saving Private Ryan. I don't know what else there is to say about it. It is a masterpiece of its kind. Number 75. The Wizard of Oz. This is a big shift in tone going from Saving Private Ryan to The Wizard of Oz, but this is a movie that is really timeless. I love the distinct look for the land of Oz versus Kansas, where Kansas is not black and white, but sepia tone, and then when you go to Oz, it's beautiful, it's bright, it's colorful, and I love watching this movie with an adult perspective, because when you're younger, you get to marvel at all the pretty colors, all the characters, like the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, the Cowardly Lion, Dorothy, but watching it with an adult mindset, you really get to see all the parallels between Dorothy's real world and Oz, and just what all these characters represent. It is a beautiful movie, and it has one of the most iconic songs in any film ever, Over the Rainbow, which, I gotta be honest, anytime I hear it, I do get a little misty-eyed because it's such a beautiful song. And it's just very fitting to a movie as gorgeous and well-made as The Wizard of Oz. Number 74. Shrek 2. This is my favorite DreamWorks movie out there. I do like the first Shrek movie a lot. I remember seeing it, I think 3 or 4 times when it came out in the theaters, but I enjoy Shrek 2 a lot more because it doesn't just repeat what the first movie did. It actually expands the story, gives us new characters, puts our old characters into new situations, and I just think it's a funnier movie overall. They amp up the pop culture references from the first movie, but I just think it's done in a more clever way. I love the characters, the animation is definitely bumped up, and I just can't get enough of it. I remember being obsessed with this movie when it came out, and especially when it came out on DVD. I think I actually wore the DVD down and had to get a new copy of it. That's how much I loved it. But yeah, Shrek 2, I absolutely love it. It's a shame that the series after this just kind of went downhill, but at least we will have the first 2 Shrek movies, especially this one. Number 73. Bonnie and Clyde. This is a movie much like with Night of the Living Dead that I heard a lot about, but I didn't know how much of an impact it would hold on me. And this was the very first movie I saw once I started going to film school in college. And it definitely lived up to a lot of expectations and surprised me at how groundbreaking of a movie it was. Similar to Night of the Living Dead, how nobody was anticipating that movie to be as gruesome as it was, the final scene in Bonnie and Clyde took people by surprise. Sure, it looks kind of tame by comparison today, but you gotta look at this scene with the mindset of an audience watching it in 1967, and nobody had ever seen anything like this before. But besides this last scene, it's just another great movie overall. You got amazing performances by Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. The direction's great. You have a lot of great side characters as well, with Gene Hackman and Gene Wilder. And it's a movie that I'm just completely invested in from beginning to end. I really enjoyed watching this movie, and it's an interesting take on these real-life criminals. So, yeah, that's Bonnie and Clyde for you. Not much else to say. Number 72. Die Hard. It's kind of ironic that this list is coming out and Die Hard just happens to be in this particular section of the list, just as we in Los Angeles had a big 30th anniversary Die Hard celebration, but Rightfully so, because this is one of the greatest action movies ever made. And what I really love about it is that this itself was a game changer, because a lot of action movies in the 80s usually starred Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone. They were goofy, over the top, just guns-ho, blazing all over the place. But Die Hard plays out more like if Alfred Hitchcock directed an action movie, because John McClane is just a character who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's not all gun-ho. He has to use his stealth and ingenuity to defeat the terrorists and save the day and his family. And he's vulnerable. He's a character that can easily get hurt, easily get killed, and you fear for his life. And on top of all that, it's just a very clever script all around with a bunch of really great lines. When I reviewed this movie, I did have a problem with the ending where they just flat out used the score for Aliens, and it takes me out of it for a second. And I still have a problem with it, but you know what? It doesn't take away from my full enjoyment of how awesome Die Hard is. If you've never seen Die Hard, what are you doing? Just go watch it now. Number 71. The Muppet Movie. Muppet Christmas Carol may have been my first true exposure to the Muppets, but for me, my favorite Muppet movie, and probably the most classic Muppet movie ever made, is the Muppet Movie. It's got everything you'd expect from the Muppets and everything that you see in the old Muppet Show. It's got celebrity cameos, it's got a lot of meta humor, the puppeteering work is great. And one shot that I really love that is a testament to how great the puppeteering is that full body shot of Fozzie Bear on the stage, once we're first introduced to his character within the film's film. It's got some great songs as well. Two of them are the best Muppet songs ever made, in my opinion. Moving Right Along, and then Rainbow Connection, which, much like Over the Rainbow, when I listen to it, it does make me a little misty-eyed. Why is it all these songs that make me misty-eyed have the word rainbow in it? That's ironic, but whatever, it's effective. Watching this as a kid, I just loved it, and there were a few points that terrified me, especially with the giant animal coming out of the Western Saloon. But watching this with an adult perspective, I admire all the technical aspects, I admire a lot of the hidden jokes that I didn't get as a kid, and I just like watching this movie, just looking at all the celebrity cameos, like, oh, that's Dom DeLuise, oh, that's Mel Brooks, that's Steve Martin, wait, Orson Welles? What's he doing in a Muppet movie? So, it's just great all around. I love the Muppets. The Muppet Movie is my favorite of the bunch. And there you go, that's part 3 of my top 100 favorite movies from number 80 to 71. Check back next month where I'll be talking about my favorite movies from number 70 to 61. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and of course leave a comment below. Don't forget to support my Patreon page, follow me on social media, and until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.